Hey kiddo, you need to stop whatever you're doing right now and take a look at what I found here. Remember that old janky memory box I showed you a while back? Well, look what I found this time. I know it looks like a boring little notebook, but I used to write poetry in here. Ah, I know I don't really look like the poet type, and I'm no Shakespeare, but I've always liked trying to make something new, even if I'm not going to be the best at it. And poetry felt kind of fun. I didn't always know what I was doing, but I did try to write from the heart. I showed it to your mom while we were away, so I wanted to sit down with you and show you some of the ones that seemed cool to me. Well, I did write a lot of these poems for the both of you, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot. And I did write a whole lot about food, but yeah, I'll make sure I stick to some of the more cohesive ones. We've already looked through our old photo album a while back, but this is making me pretty nostalgic all over again. Alright, let me flip through a few pages here. Oh, aw, you see this here? This tiny little handprint is yours. I know you're all big and grown now, but I still see you as my little baby. And boy, were you noisy. Just to make sure mom got enough rest, I had to cradle you on so many nights, just making sure you're all nice and comfy. And the only thing that stopped you from crying was the sound of my kazoo. Yes, I'm being serious. I'm sure if I played a bit of my kazoo right now, it would still cheer you up. Now, shall I do a dramatic reading of this poem? This one is titled, I'll Hold Your Hand. Yesterday, you grasped at my finger. You were tiny, but a big stinker. You laughed at my silly, weird faces, but I made sure I'd hold your hand at all stages. Today, you felt scared, severely unprepared. You thought the kids would stare, make fun of you and what you wear. Tightly, I held your hand because I'd always understand. You laughed, you cried. Your hair you cut and dyed. Even when you wanted to start a band, I was there for you, holding your hand. Tomorrow you grow strong and tall. You no longer stumble, you no longer fall. But even if things don't go as planned, Dad will always hold your hand. Someday, far away, I'll be really old. Maybe then I'll be the one you console. You'll have children and maybe land, but even then, I hope you'll hold my hand. What did you think, huh? This one really brings up so many emotions. It sort of takes me back. You know, I wrote this because I was excited to be a father, but to be honest, I was also kind of scared. I mean, no one really gives you a manual on this kind of thing. But when I first held you in my arms, all I could think about is how I wanted to be there for you and support you as much as I could. I just thought about all these things. How one day I'm going to be teaching you how to ride your first bike, or I'd be seeing you lose your first tooth, or seeing you graduate, or even get married someday. And then I felt like it was all going to be okay. That I could just take everything one step at a time and learn on the way. And look, here we are. I mean, being a parent was not easy. There was a lot I needed to learn and unlearn, but I wouldn't have changed anything about the way you were raised. It's been such a joy to raise you. It always warms my heart knowing you can come to me and tell me whatever's on your mind. Really. As a dad, I feel like that's the greatest privilege. Just having you be able to feel comfortable and safe with me is the most precious gift I've ever had. I know I'm not the best with my words and I mess up sometimes, but you and your mom are always in my mind and heart. I know I'm getting all sappy on you. Hey, I need to show you how much I appreciate my little stinker. Anyway, kiddo, shall we look through a few more pages? I wanted to read you some of the poems I wrote about Mom. Here's one. This was actually a bit before you were born. You were still in your mom's tummy. In my room, I sat alone, with no one to call my own. A dream is all it could be, someone who'd make me feel free. I yearned for love like no other, until she came along, and I became her lover. The way she dressed, her beautiful smile, I could see it from anywhere, even from a mile. Life was not perfect, at times nightmarish, but since I met her, life is all I cherish. As she approached me, closer and closer, the sun shined brighter, the dark days were over. Days full of laughter and nights full of hugs. I couldn't stop thinking about my sweet love. As she talked and talked, my heart would melt from the warmth of the brightest fire that I'd ever felt. One bright morning, in front of an endless sea, I finally asked, "Will you marry me?" I looked in her eyes, my favorite view. Then finally she said, "Oh yes, I do. She is my everything, my river of honey. And she is yours too, your cozy mummy." This really does take me back to. I was just sitting there, remembering all these amazing memories we've had together, even the not so amazing ones. She really stuck it out with me. So, before I knew it, I was writing and pouring out my feelings onto this page, and that's how I made this one. It was like my heart was doing the talking. Your mom has been such a light in my life, kiddo. If she hadn't shown up, who knows where I'd be. And when I read this to her the night before, she started tearing up. That's why she got me a slice of my favorite cake this morning. That really was so nice of her. Oh, and the cake was so good. I love being married. But yeah, love really is a beautiful thing, kiddo, ain't it? When I was a lot younger, a lot of the people around me tried to convince me otherwise. That love was going to fade away, or something bad was always bound to happen. But look at me and your mom. We're two peas in a pod. We're as happy as can be. It's the greatest feeling, kiddo. Whether you love your friends, or a partner, or even just us as your family, make sure you take good care of them. And make sure you tell them how much you care about them every chance you get. Alright? That's why I always make sure your mom has a big smile on her face every day. And she does the same for me. I'm getting distracted. I really hope you find somebody you cherish, just like I cherish you and your mom, kiddo. Alright. On to the next poem. This is a bit of a sillier one. It's called Orange Juice. Or how the kids say, orange juice. Summer vacation at last. I scurry home through the garage. A glass of orange juice awaits me like a mirage. A reward, of course, to celebrate hard times past. From the table it gurgles and waves. I pick it up and sip. Oh, how I craved. The ice knocks against my teeth, like a guest at my door, eager to be friends. The sugary treasure swirls in my mouth and hugs my throat as it further descends. It finally finds home and slushes in my tummy. I suppose it did taste sort of yummy. A sweat trickles down my back. I still have summer homework to unpack. My thigh sticks to the leather chair. Seeing everyone play outside seems so unfair. But I don't want to face my mother's glare. The glass of juice seems half empty. Now winter is the one that tempts me. Maybe it's not as silly as I remember it to be. Well, I actually wrote this one after seeing you return home from school one day. You were so excited for summer break, you wouldn't stop going on and on and on about it. And then, once it came by, the next thing I knew, you were complaining about the heat and how it sucks and how you just want winter back. It really did remind me of myself when I was younger, too. So, one evening, I thought about that exact moment. It made me think of how excited we get for certain things in the future, rather than enjoying the present moment. We build up this idea in our head, and once that moment comes, the excitement really isn't there anymore. Just fades. Just like how in the poem, they ended up dreaming about orange juice and having fun with their friends on summer break, and then it just didn't end up as exciting as they thought. Does that make sense? But yeah, a lot of my poems about food didn't make all too much sense, but this one really stuck out to me. And I felt like it was a lesson I really needed to learn again. I want to start enjoying the little things again. Even if it's just writing a report for work, maybe I could light a candle more often and get a nice warm drink too. I've been really skipping out on that because I just wanted to get it over with. I want to be in the present moment and enjoy whatever is happening rather than waiting for something better. Well, on a positive note, kiddo, I'm really enjoying hanging out with you right now. It really does feel so nice knowing I can share all these little memories with you and you really care about your dad's silly little poems. It's just amazing knowing I just have the best family ever. You and your mom and the rest of our family are what make me so excited each day. So I hope you learned something from that too, kiddo. You may or may not think your current situation sucks, but we're living someone's dream life, kiddo. Seriously, just having the privilege to be alive and have a warm, comfy bed. Let's be thankful for it, right? Since we're already getting deep here, why don't I read another deep poem I wrote? This one's titled Summer Skin Child. Your eyes are plastered on the TV screen. Women that glow like snow, flaunting their glee. Men with eyes that shimmer like the sea. These girls and boys don't look like me. You lay in bed, a hole in your heart, born with a defective shell from the start. You clasp your hands and beg to the Lord. Soon the cries turn to a roar. I don't think you knew I was meant to be a different hue. Sun-kissed child, that's not true. If only you could see your value. Why do you pray to fit into the mold of others when your curls billow like the silk skirt of your loving mothers? Your brown skin like pools of honey, glazed with bronze when it's sunny. The pain in your midnight eyes that I see, I recognize your feelings of inadequacy. One day you'll wake up, your eyes big and bright, and realize the morning sun was always your spotlight. How's that, huh? It's a bit self-explanatory, but I still hope this one made sense. There was a story your mom told me about when she was a lot younger. It really made me think. For starters, when I met her, I thought she was the most gorgeous person I've ever laid my eyes on. But to her, she felt like she had to go through so much to believe that herself, and I was shocked. I'm sure she's mentioned this to you as well, but when she was growing up, she didn't see a lot of people that looked like her, or that had her features. So she just assumed there was something wrong with her, and she spent so many years having to unlearn that mindset because it hurt her. So yeah, when I learned that, I really wanted to put it into a poem too. It's a real feeling for so many people. Maybe you might feel that way too. Growing up and not being able to see anyone that looks like you, it must have felt so alienating. But if you do think like that, I hope you see it how your mom sees it now too. You don't need to look like others to be beautiful, kiddo. You are a work of art. Your value doesn't need to be determined by these random people who have no idea what they're talking about. Because when I look at you, I see your mom's precious smile and her cute ears. And you have my big eyes and amazing nose. You're the coolest parts of us combined. Isn't that amazing? And I hope you don't ever have to feel bad about yourself again. I don't care how you may seem different from the others, you're more than just this body. You have an amazing story that needs to be told. You have talents that need to be shared. You have dreams that need to be accomplished. One day, once you're older, you'll seriously realize how amazing you are. And I'll keep telling you that. Don't let any of those feelings stop you, alright? Your potential is endless, kiddo. You can be whatever you want to be. I've got your back. And once you achieve all your dreams, I'll be there to say, I knew you could do it. Seriously, your mom and I are so proud to raise someone like you. Whew, that got me real emotional. So, I think I'll show you one more poem before I have to get back to my curry, before it starts to burn. This one is titled, It's No Trouble. A pang of guilt hits your heart when you ask for a mended shirt. If you knew what I did all day, you wouldn't feel so hurt. It's no trouble, I say. I didn't know how to sew, but I learned for you all day just to see you glow. Even when you're sick in bed and crave your mother's meal, I'll learn to cook it. It's no big deal. I'll get you your favorite flowers. It doesn't matter the day. You're worth all those hours, and you're prettier than that bouquet. Say the word and I'll be here for you. I'll do anything for you, it's true. Rain or snow, warm or cold, it's no trouble. I'll say that till I'm old. Of course, this was for your mom. She always feels super guilty about asking me for things. I know she's very independent and oh so strong, but when she gets that help she really needs, my heart just melts seeing her eyes. So, I hope you start helping out your mom too, alright? She might say no, but she'll always appreciate your kindness. And I hope you learn to start doing that with your loved ones too, alright? Put that extra effort in to make them feel loved. Give them a surprise gift. Take out the time to just show them you're thinking about them. And I hope the people you love do that for you too. You're my kiddo, so I want you to have that confidence inside yourself. You deserve the best, and you deserve people around you that make you feel loved and happy. Just like how your mom and I love you to pieces. Ah, that was a nostalgic, emotional roller coaster for me. I know Dad was mostly just yapping on and on about life lessons, but you're my favorite person to talk to. I've got to share some of these life lessons to someone, right? Hey, does something smell like it's burning? Oh my god, oh no, my curry! Oh jeez, I got so invested in this. Your mom's not gonna let me make curry for months if I burn it again. Alright, you get back to what you were doing, kiddo. I'll let you know once the curry's done. You won't mind a bit of a crispy taste to it, right? Anyway, I'll be back. Love you, kiddo. And you know what, kiddo? While we're at it, we should get these folks listening in to like and subscribe, don't you think?